Everyone, this is Black 117 here, and today we'll be going over our PFA Season 9 Week 3 battle as we're up against Drub or Danny, and so let's just get this game started. Um, so I think by the time I had these games or battles back recorded and whatnot, I think it was like about a few weeks time. So one thing to keep in mind is like around this time, I might be doing playoffs. So yeah. So I might have other content or just be uploading other stuff in the meantime. So that's sort of like a small asterisk I want to put there. So all right. So enough of that. So back to the match. Um. So looking at Drub's team, he has Seismitoad, Rotom, Mo, Lawnmower thing, Mega Aerodactyl, Azu, Gothitelle with Shadow Tag, and Herbador. So, other Pokemon I could have brought were the Infernape, Kamo, Blissey, and I believe the Trampitch, because as you can see, it has an element of trapping or Perish Trap, or just trap in general. So, as I'd like to say it. So we have this bunny right there. We have a goth email thing, and we have a dust bunny there. So bunnies and a frog and a lawnmower thing, and rodent right there. So looking at our team, we brought Garchomp, Rocks, Suicune, Sub, Got a Ball, and those are gonna be very important. Being able to avoid being trapped by stuff. Well, except for God, but like if he plays World Perish Trap, we could play around with that. Gallade has Leaf, Blade, Ice Punch, Drain Punch, and Bulk Up. The only thing I don't like is that Perish Trap Azumarill can pretty much beat that to the hell. So hopefully he's not the Sap Sipper, otherwise we're kind of screwed there. But Mesprit is pretty cool this week. It actually has Recycle. 50% berry with I believe Thunderbolt, Slice Shock, and Calm Mind. So, and a new member of this team with Volcanion, our once-time Mon that you'll see. So maybe a spoiler right there. So, and obviously Tapu Koko with I think Shuckberry, because I actually contemplated running Scarf, but I was like, I'm just gonna run like I'm gonna run Shuckberry. Whatever. So looking at this team, I'm just like, already I'm kind of thinking about, okay, what are some leads here? Because I kind of didn't want to deal with it. I really wanted to lead Chomp, but at the same time, I was like, okay, just trying to think back because this was like happened a couple months ago, and honestly, I think I led like Gallade here. Because I think the reasoning was because I thought it just has a good matchup against everything, except for Aerodactyl, and maybe Azu. So here I just go into like Gallade, and he goes into Aerodactyl, so I'm like, ah shit. So already we're on the back burner, so I'm already thinking to myself, does this have flying coverage, or if this is just a setter? Obviously Aerodactyl finding out its moveset is going to be very important, because looking at his team, maybe like this thing could like just, he has a Seismitoad right there, so like maybe he's not Rocks. So I could just, his might be an offensive thing. So I think I just go hard Suicune here, as he just goes to Mega and got up his Stealth Rocks right there. So let me just do a quick. And yeah. Hopefully the video quality just improved vastly, so I just noticed something. Alright, so he just sets up his rocks and I go into my Suicune. So I didn't want to go Suicune this early because now I kind of like have to play around with one of the 5 Pokemon or even Aerodactyl itself. Especially if Aerodactyl, or if he goes into Rotom, because like now I'm already in a kind of a weird position, because now he can just go into like Seismitoad or Rotom or Azu and do whatever the hell he wants, and I just, yeah, I think I remember I just go for Skull for some reason or Sub. I think it's either one of those options. And he goes to Goth as I just go for Sub. And honestly, I just didn't really give a damn because I was like, this might be a free sub anyway. So here I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go for Calm Mind. I think I just mainly went for the sub just to prevent myself from getting tricked and whatnot. So I just go for sub. He goes for the Thunderbolt, and already that kind of implies to me that this thing is an offensive Goth because this Suicune is physically defensive with a little bit of speed, but and already I'm like, yep, this is might be special attacker Goth. I was thinking he might be like just an offensive set, or like maybe a defensive set with Calm Mind, or an offensive set for Trick. But he just brings an offensive Goth in general. So here I just go for a Calm Mind, and I'm already, oh, I wrote him, and I'm like, well shit, he's gonna trick me. So I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna Scald, and I'd rather just, if he goes to Seismitoad, he goes to Seismitoad, so it's whatever. Here I just go for Shadow Ball, thinking that he might just go for Azu, or Seismitoad, so he knows my full moveset now. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's gonna start setting up spikes and hazards and shit like that, so I do get a Spadef drop, which is helpful. Here I go for the sub here, as he goes for the explosion. And right here, I know there's a little bit of an aside here, but this is what I should have done in another game, and otherwise that game would have been a lot different. But here I decide, you know what, I just got out whatever he's doing. But I'll give it to Drub because like he does make a sort of a aggressive play in a way, in a sense, because now it just takes, like, he weakens Suicune significantly. I'm still recovering from leftovers, but the thing is now he's just gonna go for Volt Switch and onto this Rotom or even like Leaf Storm. So now I have to play a 50-50 on this. So here I decide, you know what, okay. Well then again, I don't really have much of a 50-50 to be honest, because I pretty much have to take a Leaf Storm if he's gonna go for it. And based off my team, not even like Volcanion deals with the Leaf Storm very well. And I'm kind of forced to go into Garchomp because I felt like Suicune was like helpful to help take on Aerodactyl in the late game. So I'm just gonna like go into Chomp as he just takes a bunch of damage. Now this Chomp is a bit bulky, but I didn't like that, so I am able to take another Leaf Storm if he just sprays it on me, so, and it's whatever. So here I just go for my rock. I believe I just go for rocks here because I want to get everything chipped down. And here I kind of make a weird but dumb play. I should have just went for Swords Dance, but I just went for Earthquake. I think I probably did just to like gauge the damage on the Seismitoad as he goes for the Toxic. And here I should have just went for Swords Dance because at this point I think this is just like a couple mind games going on, because now, especially on my end, because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, his Rotom is gonna come in any moment, or Razu. And I'm thinking to myself, do I Earthquake? Do I just? I also have a Dragon Claw as well. And in this case, just because I have Dragon Claw, just because like it hits everything neutrally and it's just stab. It's also for Komodo, but you know. I have to decide whether or not, like, I had to go for the Earthquake or the Dragon Claw. I could have had Poison Jab, but you know, Earthquake just does it just a little bit. Well, it's a little bit less, but it's about the same. I go for Dragon Claw, gets just some chip damage onto this thing, and he activates my Berry. And honestly, I could have just went for the Swords Dance here, because or whatever. Here, this is where I should have just SD'd up, because then I would have just been guaranteed to get something out of here. Like, then it would have been a true 50-50, because I would just got knocked out something on this team, whether it be the Seismitoad, the Rotom, or whatever. Yeah, I would have been +2, But then that's a 50-50 though, so. But still, here I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go for Dragon Claw. He goes to Rotom for some reason, and I'm like, well, that helps me a lot. So, but then again, if I was at +2, this thing would have been gone. So, that puts me in a very bad spot already. So, good thing is Rotom is weakened, I guess. But this is the way he's playing. It's very likely Scarfed. And, what? And here I just kind of like take the chip damage on Mesprit because there's nothing really. My team doesn't want to take a Leaf Storm or whatever. I just want to get this thing out of there. And he goes to Seismitoad. And honestly, I should have saved the Red Dot or Mesprit here. Because, honestly, the rest of his team looks very, very... Mesprit was like a win con here. And, like, looking at my team, there's not really much... Like, Suicune doesn't even want to do it. It doesn't do much here anymore. But of course, I don't want to get toxic, and, that just puts me... Like, he's just gonna recover a little bit more in the end. So I felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna Calm Mind here. So, I could also go on Gallade, but I didn't want to get toxic, possibly. So, and also Azu, I don't know if he would have, like, if he would have let me get like Azu or whatever, but whatever. You're likely gone on Goth, but whatever. So, I said that so many times. So anyways, I go for Calm Mind as he actually goes for Toxic, and it's no surprise because obviously that puts me on a timer. I was actually expecting a Protect here. I was expecting Protect, so I actually go for a second Calm Mind, and I should have just went for Psyshock, even though that wouldn't have killed. But you're about to see, he has the knockoff, and that already ruins my Recycle strat a little bit. And now this Toad just protects. Like, all he has to do is protect, and he just gets guaranteed 12 damage. And that's about it. So, I just lost Mesprit for no reason. And I mean, it's just one of those days where, like, you're not getting the plays right. So, go to Cornelius. And here I just go into, honestly, should have bulked up here, because him going to God was kind of risky because I thought if he had something like, I don't know why he went to God initially, but like you'll see why. But I honestly should have just went for bulk up here, as I think I just go for Leaf Blade for damage, which is fine. Here I just go for bulk up, and it turns out this thing is Thunder Wave, so he has an offensive Goth with Thunder Wave. So now, since my Gallade is very slow than usual, he's very likely gonna outspeed me. And this kind of annoys me, because as you see, honestly, I go for another bulk up, and the reason why I go for another bulk up is because I felt that I needed another one just to at least ensure that he doesn't like go back up to fucking Berry if he has a Figgy, not Figgy Berry, but like, you know, one of the 50% berries. If he had Figgy Berry, he'd probably like get confused and shit. But I went for the bulk up again, thinking, okay, I could just live another Psychic and we're good here. And as long as I don't get paralyzed, and I get critted, so. And that, my friends, is the whole game. So, basically, I have to go Volcanion now. Hit this, Steam Eruption. And, yeah, this Rotom, Ugly Lawnmower, is about to just claim the rest of my team. Or whatever. But to be honest, I could have just... Honestly, if I actually... Oh, well, you'll see. I was hoping that he wasn't like offensive Rotom. I wanted to see what he was, and it turns out he was, so it's very likely that he was a Scarf. So if he was Scarf, then that probably meant that, well, I don't know, because if he wasn't Scarf, then like I would have been probably guaranteed at least 2 or 3 kills. The weight, depending on the weight. Like, obviously Seismitoad is a problem for the rest of this game, because he has Earthquake and whatever, but I would have at the very least gotten at least 2 Pokemon before. I would have gotten at least 2 Pokemon before, like, you know, it would have been time to just, like, it would have been like, oh, like, you know, the match would have ended. I think the reason, I think I just forfeited just because, one, there's a couple reasons. Like, one, I just knew that, like, it was over because, like, he has Aerodactyl, he outspeeds me, he has Earthquake, Stone Edge. Like, he doesn't even have to play around or risk that, even though he kind of does, but still, like, Aerodactyl could just, any of his Pokemon would just weaken Coco enough to where Aerodactyl wins. So, and then Suicune, I mean, you have Rotom right there, so, and Azu, and if Azu is a Perish Trap even, it can't, no, he just needs Perish Song, just, that's about it, or then a regular offensive Azu just, like, breaks Suicune. Especially if it's a certain set that I'm thinking about, but, and that's Toad just, you know, seals the deal, so, this was one of those games where I feel like I just got the wrong plays initially. Like, you know, those small little turns, like, you don't know what's going on until it's too late, type of things. And it just so happened to end that way. And as soon as that crit happened, I was like, yep, I know it's over. So, even if I did get the crit, even if, like, no, I think it would have been better for me because, no, if he didn't get the crit, he would have been better for me because, at the very least, it forces him into one of his Pokemon, whether it's Aerodactyl or Rotom, instead of me forcing going into one of his Pokemon. I think it would have been more in his favor to win at that point, but at the very least, I would have gotten, like, one more Pokemon, so it could have been a 2-0 at best, or 2-0 loss or whatever, but, like, I definitely think I could have gotten another Pokemon, but, like, at that point I was like, yeah, game's over, so, so I just forfeited, so, anyways, I know it's unfortunate that I kind of, like, forfeited, but to be honest, sometimes I just know when I know that there's games that I'm like, yeah, this is going south really quickly, and I think it all came down with the Mesprit because, like, honestly, Mesprit just really, I don't know, like, I kind of dropped the ball when it came to team building, but even then, it was like, Mesprit was like the one Pokemon I just didn't know what to bring with. And then I had, like, another Pokemon idea, like, bringing Drapion. And I changed that for Volcanion, which, that turned out amazing. So, I think Drapion would have been a lot better choice here. Or whatever. So, that's all I have to say about that for the team building aspect. It was just, like, trying to cover for everything. But, you know, straight off offense just beats my team. But then again, like, I could just go offensive as well if I want to, so, and the games would probably go for 50-50s at that point, so, but anyways, that's all I have to say about this game, and, yeah, GG's to Drub, and, right now we'll try to, like, get another victory here, so, we're facing off against Connor, and, yeah, his team looks a little bit more threatening than before, so, anyways, see ya.